Klay Thompson is allegedly cheating on Megan Thee Stallion whenever he gets the opportunity to. We've read past blind items that he's allegedly been dealing with a former hookup that Megan knows nothing about. And now this blind item alleges that he's full-blown cheating.
Okay, so y'all remember like 2 weeks ago when the internet was absolutely convinced that Klay Thompson and Megan Thee Stallion were over, when those pictures came out and everyone was doing the absolute most in the comments? Yeah, about that. Turns out we were all wrong and they're still very much together. So if you've been following this situation, you know it's been a whole roller coaster. We had the initial excitement when they got together. Then suddenly there were rumors about Klay meeting up with an ex. The internet went into full detective mode. People were taking sides. And now it looks like all that drama was literally for nothing because these two are still going strong. We're going to break down the timeline, talk about how social media jumped to conclusions, and discuss what this says about how we consume celebrity relationships. But first, subscribe to Celebrity Scandalous because we keep you updated on all the relationship tea, even when the story changes. Now, all right, so first, let's recap how we even got here. When Klay Thompson and Megan Thee Stallion first started being spotted together, the internet had feelings. You had the basketball fans who were hyped, you had the hotties who were protective of Meg, and you had everyone else just trying to figure out how this pairing even happened. But honestly, they seemed genuinely happy together. We were getting candid photos, we were getting that couple energy, and people were slowly starting to warm up to the idea. Like, okay, this is cute, this makes sense, we can get behind this. They weren't overly public about it, no matching Instagram posts or anything too coordinated. But they also weren't hiding. It was giving we're together and we're comfortable, but we're not making it a whole PR thing energy, which honestly, in 2026 feels refreshing. Everything seemed fine. People were rooting for them. The vibes were immaculate. And then the photos dropped. So about 2 weeks ago, social media absolutely erupted because pictures started circulating that allegedly showed Klay Thompson meeting up with one of his exes. And when I say the internet lost it, I mean lost it. The photos were grainy because of course they were. But people were analyzing every pixel trying to confirm if it was really him, if it was really his ex, and what this meant for his relationship with Megan. The T pages were posting them with captions like Trouble in Paradise and Klay Thompson spotted with Mystery Woman and all that. And the comments? Girl, it was chaos. You had people saying, I knew this wouldn't last. You had people defending Klay like that could be anyone. You had people feeling bad for Megan, and you had the whole internet just running wild with speculation. The Megan fans immediately went into protective mode. People were in her comments like, you deserve better, queen, and don't let him play you, even though nobody actually knew what was happening. The internet decided the narrative and just ran with it. Meanwhile, basketball Twitter was having a completely different conversation. Some people were like, let that man live. Others were disappointed, and some were just making jokes about the whole situation. It became this whole thing where everyone had an opinion, but nobody had actual facts. Then you had the blogs and the gossip sites picking it up, writing articles about alleged meetups and sources say, and all that stuff that may or may not be true, but gets clicks anyway. It became one of those stories that just snowballed, even though the evidence was literally just some blurry photos that could have been from any time period. For like a week straight, this was the conversation. People were checking both of their social media pages looking for clues. Did they unfollow each other? Are they still liking each other's posts? Has either of them posted anything cryptic? The internet was in full FBI mode. And honestly, it looked bad for a minute there. When neither of them addressed it immediately, people took that as confirmation that something was wrong. Because we're so used to celebrities doing damage control right away, that silence feels suspicious. But here's where it gets interesting. That whole narrative completely fizzled out. Because now, just 2 weeks later, it's clear that Klay and Megan are still very much together and the relationship is doing just fine. They've been spotted out together looking happy and unbothered. There's been recent footage of them at events. They're still showing up for each other, and the energy is giving, we ignored all that noise and kept it moving. Which is honestly the most mature way to handle internet drama. So what happened to all those rumors about the ex? They just disappeared. No confirmation, no big dramatic breakup, no public statements. The story just died because it probably wasn't true to begin with, or it was blown completely out of proportion. And now all those people who were in the comments predicting their downfall are looking real silly. The blogs that were writing, sources say they're on the rocks articles are quiet. Everyone just moved on to the next thing because that's how the internet works. But here's what's wild to me. Nobody is really acknowledging that we all jump to conclusions. There's no, my bad, we were wrong energy. People just quietly stopped talking about it and pretended they weren't just writing dissertations about why this relationship was doomed 2 weeks ago. The photos that proved Klay was being shady, either they were old, misinterpreted, or just straight up not what people thought they were. But by the time the truth comes out, the damage is already done and the narrative has already spread. Meanwhile, Klay and Megan are just out here living their lives, probably not even paying attention to what random people on the internet think about their relationship, which is exactly how it should be, honestly. Okay, but real talk, this whole situation is a perfect example of how messy we are when it comes to celebrity relationships. Like, we get so invested in people we don't even know, and we're so quick to believe the worst. 2 grainy photos, and suddenly everyone's a relationship expert talking about, I could tell this wouldn't last, and she deserves better anyway. But when it turns out the relationship is actually fine, crickets. Nobody wants to admit they were wrong or that they got way too invested in someone else's business. And this isn't even specific to Klay and Megan. This happens with every celebrity couple. We build them up, we tear them down, we create drama where there might not be any, and then we act surprised when they ignore us and do whatever they want anyway. The truth is, we don't actually know what's happening in anyone's relationship except our own. We see what they choose to show us, we see what paparazzi manage to capture, and we fill in the rest with our own assumptions and biases. With Klay and Megan specifically, I think people had preconceived notions about both of them that made it easy to believe the rumors. Some people never thought they'd work as a couple in the first place. So when evidence appeared that confirmed their bias, they ran with it. But the fact that they're still together and seemingly happy despite all the noise, that's actually really sweet. It shows they're not letting the internet dictate their relationship, and they're not feel obligated to address every rumor or speculation. In 2026, with social media being what it is, that's actually really hard to do. The pressure to respond, to defend yourself, to control the narrative, it's intense. So the fact that they just let it blow over speaks to their maturity and their confidence in what they have. So yeah, the moral of the story is that Klay Thompson and Megan Thee Stallion are still together, still going strong, and all that ex-drama from 2 weeks ago was basically nothing. The internet jumped to conclusions, the rumors spread, and then reality said, actually, no. And honestly, good for them. They don't owe us explanations or statements or anything else. If they're happy, they're happy. The rest is just noise. But you know, if anything actually develops with this situation, I'll be back here with an update. Because even though we should all mind our business, we're not going to, and that's what this channel is for. So let me know in the comments, were you one of the people who thought they broke up? Are you happy they're still together? And do you think celebrities should address rumors or just ignore them? Make sure you're subscribed because we stay on top of all the relationship drama, the plot twists, and the moments when the internet gets it completely wrong. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this, and I'll catch you in the next video. Stay nosy, but stay humble because sometimes we're all wrong, and that's okay. All right, I'm out.